Tundra's got. I feel like they got all the heroes that they wanted pretty much, and this Invoker, we haven't seen much of it, but it's still very powerful hero, and I think they can hit their timings. Looking at the offlane, Tundra's offlane has been very active early on, and this is definitely the lane that they want to win, and with the heroes that they got, I believe they can do it, kill the tower, and just snowball from it.
SVG.
I favor Tundra a little bit here. It really depends. We ended up seeing Taiga go on that Viper actually. So it's a four position Viper, 5, whatever you want to call it.
On the safe lane.
Yeah, if that lane wins, I think OG is going to be pretty happy in this game, but I'm not sure how well it's going to go. That's a big if. So that's the lane to look at for me. I favor Tundra.
我叫甘宁老师。
So basically, I'd say Tundra has this game if they win their offlane, which I think they're gonna lose first minute, and then they're gonna start winning.
Okay.
And Monkeys counter this game.
Okay, let's see if they're right. We throw to our casters, Sunsfan and Cinder. And Sunsfan, I hope you've still got some breath left after running up those stairs.
Thank you, Pyrian. Yes, I have recovered, thankfully. The crowd's energy has really helped us out here. This is the lower bracket finals, Tundra versus OG. Cinderin, who's going to win this game?
One of the two teams is probably going to win, Shannon.
Okay,
Who do you
50-50.
think?
Well, S4 said Tundra, and I'm going to go against him.
All right, so it's hard to go against Tundra. Soxa is 6-0 on Doom so far in this tournament. Strictly speaking, from statistics, Tundra should be very happy with what they've got. They've also got their hands on the 33 Visage. I don't know if they've lost with this hero pairing either. Well, I guess they haven't, because they haven't lost with Doom. So then they also wouldn't have lost with Doom Visage. And just looking over the draft, I feel like this is one of the more challenging positions that I've seen OG in after the picks. Like the panel pointed out, I think their lanes could become rather challenged this game. I think they need to be really intelligent about how they go about this to avoid the Jugger Lich lane having a high impact, and especially that Visage Doom finding a good start. Taiga on Viper as well. I feel like we've seen this before, and it's not... I don't think it went too well for OG in that game. That doesn't mean that they need to lose faith in it, obviously. It's just a small sample size, but it's not exactly, this kind of big playmaking hero that Taiga has the ability to take over games on.
Yeah, and I think the panel hit it on the head, that it felt like one of those, hey, this is what Amar's going to play. Guess what? Not going to happen, actually. Like Ultra Flex, we'll see if it works out for them. A little bit risky for them for sure, but I mean, OG has been on an absolute roll, and Tundra's the one that are coming off of a loss, so we'll see if that's
Where OG and Tundra in the same group in this major? I already forgot.
You can see Taiga already taking heavy damage in that top lane. And assumption, not quite enough.
They
the
were
Fire
actually in the same group, and last time OG faced against Tundra,
probably pretty nice
they
to have
lost
a TI winning coach that also plays Visage in AUI.
So they won 2-0, they lost 2-0, now another match.
I also want to focus a little bit on the bottom lane here, because we've seen Amar take over games on this Razor. You're playing double ranged heroes.
Final will be best of 5. That is right. That is right. Final will be best of 5.
More of a defensive role than you usually would like to with Jugger, but that doesn't mean the kills
and
don't
that will be
exist,
happening today as well. So yeah, let's see. Or maybe I don't know. I don't think it will be a trio victory.
But they don't have the most kill potential quite
yet.
Wanna
bet. Exnosis wanna bet.
I mean, we should talk about it. I think this is problem on the panel.
Do you think it will be a trio grand finals, like straight up 3 games win?
Devastating. But we haven't really seen that much Jug, it feels like, in this patch. What makes it a good Jug game in your eyes?
Okay. How many games will it be?
I'm not sure what made it a good Jug game the moment they picked it. I think more than anything, Tundra are looking to find heroes that hit a similar timing to the Doom Visage. I don't think Jugger has any particularly amazing matchup in the draft at the time that it happens, but he has the timing going for him, where once Visage and Doom are online and want to fight, you group up, you have the Frost Blast, you have the Frost Shield on Lich that you put on the Doom or the Jug, they run it, they begin the fight, and that's when you can pile on the damage with the Visage, and that's when you can also bring in your Invoker
10 seconds remaining.
Or that added pressure 9, by the way. Out that EMP, no problem.
Something that each team is kind of missing that we've been seeing in a lot of games is a Mars-type offlane that is the big, fat, initiating type hero. In this game, it's Doom, but that's position 4.
It's Green's here.
Stroke, no double Doom for you. And Tundra's other combo to enable this 4-position Doom as well. Deadly this tournament.
Yeah, so I talked about the opening to a game is killing that tower on the offlane. And what you want to do against Tundra right now, against the Visage, you want to slow down his experience. He needs level 6, so he's not a hero before 6. Level 6 kills the tower, so you want to put a strong lane there, but you still want to kill the offlane tower with your strong heroes. You just want to play a slower game into Visage.
So that he can't get those early rotations in and start taking buildings. And
it's pretty much like a race. The one that kills the offlane tower first, they get to move in to the jungle, farm an extra jungle camp, and kill mid tower for them.
I remember watching 33 play Visage, and he kills the tower one game, he TPs to bottom, resummons the bird, and because they were holding onto the tier 1 tower for a very long time, and he's the one who's going to be making the moves. Because Visage, once he hits that peak, once he hits that level 6, he's extremely powerful, and it's very hard to fight into the hero.
10 seconds remaining.
That's the one thing. You can destroy this hero on lane. I think there's a lot of lanes you can construct that will shut him down early. But the other factor of this hero you have to consider, especially for Tundra, is they are happy to give this Visage a slower than normal start and just have him catch up and get into the mid game, be the team fight powerhouse with all the aura stacking, all the 5-man you can pull out with this hero. Like, they're happy to try and scale with this hero. I think 33 is very confident going into that, even if he comes from a behind position. It's never ideal, but this is a team that can skirt out of those lanes. We've seen it. They do the lane pulls, they do the lane swapping, they'll do what they need to get necessary in order to get into that point. So I think shutting him down on lane is a big step if you can get it for OG, but I also think you still have to think about this Tundra team fight going in the mid game. That's sometimes where Viper can suffer. And if you die once or twice in these team fights, you fall behind. Suddenly you don't have the stopping power you used to. I would not go all in on lanes. I agree the lane's very important here, but I think OG, you want to think about this mid game more than anything versus team.
I was looking at some of the TSM games yesterday, the ones they won, and even on Dota Buff it will say, oh, they lost, drew, and they're like for the lanes, and then they go on and win. So do you think maybe some teams do put just too much focus? Is it possible to focus too much on winning lanes, and then after that you haven't got a good draft?
Yeah, for sure. And we see Windrunner coming up. If you watch yesterday's games, Seb was playing Windrunner, and there was a key moment for them winning that game. It's they lost their safe lane tower early, and he moved there against the AM, and nobody from the other team pushed him out of that lane. So he kept pushing it in, And what I want to see Tundra, I think Saxa, he's one of the strongest position forward right now. He knows about this, so he's gonna camp that lane on Seb, and he's gonna kill him with the Visage birds.
All right.
So if they do this on Tundra, they're gonna get ahead super far.
I think Tundra is expecting this Viper to be on the offlane with the Monkey King right now, because they want to shift things around, and OG's preparing for the safe lane, because they already see what they're going to be playing into. And I think this Juggernaut plus Lich is a very good response. Like, their lineup is very good at the damage reduction, having Visage and the Frost Shield, and also Healing Ward, so they can reset. And they also have a kill threat in the lane against the Viper. You don't care too much about the stacks, and I feel like this is a very good Tundra's response to what OG opened up with.
Definitely a kill lane. I mean, this is a lane if you do end up laning versus Viper. Let's say OG doesn't try and force the Viper Visage matchup. You're in a situation where Jug and Lich have to force the kill on this hero. Now it's potentially a Razor. They're going to throw this Viper somewhere else. Yep. I don't see his team playing support Viper, though, so there's a lot of overlap between Viper and Razor. Historically, I feel like a lot of teams don't like picking these two cores together.
Yeah, right now they need a synergy in the draft, OG. It's very important to get synergy. So actually this Viper should not be mid if it's Razor offlane. It should be put on the 5 position with Monkey or Monkey mid. So I want to see them pick a new mid hero, OG.
That's what I feel like too. It's a little weird that they go for both here. I feel like OG's style this turn has been, if you take the Viper or the Razor, you take it first phase, create the flex here out of it, create the pressure in the offlane of what carrier you're going to lane into this. We've seen Namar dumpster a lot of those lanes. Yeah. To take both is kind of like, are they doing too much of the same thing for this team? And like you said, how are you going to balance this out in the draft? I tend to agree. Now it pushes Viper more towards the support role, because I think you rather have core Monkey with this Razor than core Viper.
I have a question. Who's Tiger playing? What hero?
That's a good question.
That's the only one I can't find out.
Viper. we saw him play
I don't
very
know.
weird
they do
heroes.
flex a lot of the things.
Maybe that's not the play though. Maybe they should pick Taiga still.
OG has a lot of single target abilities, like their team fight is a little bit of lackluster, especially if this monkey is not going to be a core. Like with the Wukongs, good Wukongs with the items, like he's going to be okay, but looking at Tundras, like their lineup comes online like really fast. Visage Birds, Chain Frost from Lich, Juggernaut, like he will join the fights whenever ulti is up, and also just having that spin damage could change things a little bit more even in favor of Tundra.
I mean, what do you think about just playing safe lane Viper with an off lane Razor for OG? Is something you think they do? Are they just like we've seen Yuragi play some of these just skirmish carries, fighters? He's happy to itemize and play anything sacrifice for the team because they can have two other cores that come online. Just play a lane dominator versus Visage, shut him down. You have the Razor versus Jug matchup who can help pick up the scale in the mid game, create strong duel lanes, and get a mid who can give you some crowd control like a Kunkka or something like this that gives you the team fight. I think it could be a route they go.
Yeah, I want to see Windrunner with Razor offlane, and I want to see Monkey position 1.
Yeah, those are their strongest lanes, right?
With Viper 5. I think that will be very good for them. Seb playing the Windrunner. He can shackle into Drain on the Jug, on the safe lanes, very good.
Looking at some heroes left in the pool for Tundra, I'd say Void Spirit looks really good. They don't have much lockdown, like even Dead Prophet. I wouldn't mind seeing Dead Prophet, but then they can put Viper on the mid lane, which is kind of a counter to it.
I mean, I suppose the fact that we're still debating who's going to play what and where means that Tundra don't know what OG are doing either, right? It's left their draft so open.
So basically Tundra, they're saying if they put Viper mid now, they're going to ruin their drafts. So we don't care if they put Viper mid. We're going to lose mid, but we're going to win the game. That's what they're saying.
I tend to agree with it. I like the DP suggestion just because their ball becomes so strong they can force the early Roshes with the Exorcism, and I don't see OG contesting early Roshan in this game. I think it looks really hard.
The only problem is Doom and DP, they want the same thing. They want people to hold for them. Hold people down, stun them, slow them.
Your lockdowns are pretty limited.
Very limited.
And 9, he loves playing those heroes, and they're getting banned right now. I see Evoker.
There's some lockdown.
Wow.
You also get the Alacrity on Jug, which is going to help him scale a huge amount in this game, especially through links. Disarm for an OG lineup, which suffers versus Disarm.
I think Face's voice is banned. Yes, it's banned. I think they want Magic Piercing hero
10 seconds remaining.
on OG.
Wow, we have not seen much Invoker. Somebody was asking, I saw a question on Reddit the other day, oddly enough, about why we don't see Invoker more. He's like, you know, exciting hero, big team fight, lots of damage and stuff like that. Is it because he's just too slow to come online?
Yes, so basically the way people play Invoker is Quas Vex, and he needs to sit on a lane for 9 minutes. The other heroes, the other mid heroes, they have like wave clear, swashbuckle Pango,
right.
He just kills the wave, goes into jungle, or goes into a side lane. Invoker, he needs to out-attack the wave, and it's just like 2 minutes too slow for a mid hero. But if you play the Exort, it's actually really strong dispatch.
I feel like OG's going to go to a mid here, to be honest. I feel like they're debating between like the Void Spirit Kunkka type Invoker counters on mid, and they're just going to play this dual core. I'm not sure it's ideal for their style, but I feel like that's what they're leaning towards. It's just going to be a Yuragi Viper or one of these.
I think Kunkka might solve a lot of their issues, a little bit of a catch, and also gives them the team fight, the buff.
Dragon Knight is pretty strong for them mid.
Puck would have been interesting, but Puck is... gives them the catch right. Like if you're going to end up with any of these cores, you need some lockdown, you need something to hold them in place. Does create a decent BKB timing, and even the spin on Jug is going to be pretty strong this game. There's nothing to lock them down in it. The healing ward can do work as well. They're almost all long-ranged heroes.
We're gonna see an Orchid against this Puck from Visage maybe. I think it's one of the best items right now against Puck. I hope to see it.
Could be very interesting, yeah.
Proud Grandmaster Tinker player. That's what his sign says.
I thought they were just booing us.
Yeah.
The analysis wasn't that bad. Huh?
They're not going to boo our panel with S4, that's for sure. All right, so having looked at the draft, I'll come to you last, Magnus. Which draft do you favor, sir?
I like what Tundra's got. I feel like they got all the heroes that they wanted pretty much, and this Invoker, we haven't seen much of it, but it's still a very powerful hero, and I think they can hit their timings. Looking at the offlane, Tundra's offlane has been very active early on, and this is definitely the lane that they want to win, and with the heroes that they got, I believe they can do it, kill the tower, and just snowball from it.
SVG.
I favor Tundra a little bit here. It really depends. We ended up seeing Taiga go on that Viper actually, so it's a four position Viper, 5, whatever you want to call it.
On the safe lane.
Yeah, if that lane wins, I think OG's going to be pretty happy in this game, but I'm not sure how That's a big if, so that's the lane to look at for me. I favor Tundra.
And S4?
So basically, I'd say Tundra has this game if they win their offlane, which I think they're gonna lose first minute, and then they're gonna start winning.
Okay.
The Monkeys counter this game.
Okay, let's see if they're right. We throw to our casters, Sunsfan and Cinder. And Sunsfan, I hope you've still got some breath left after running up those stairs.
Thank you, Pyrian. Yes, I have recovered, thankfully. The crowd's energy has really helped us out here. This is the lower bracket finals, Tundra versus OG. Cinderin, who's going to win this game?
One of the two teams is probably going to win, Shannon.
Okay,
Who do you think?
50-50. Well, S4 said Tundra, and I'm not going to go against him.
All right, so it's hard to go against Tundra. Saxa is 6-0 on Doom so far in this tournament, and they did first pick it overall, so
yeah.
Strictly speaking from statistics, Tundra should be very happy with what they've got. They've also got their hands on the 33 Visage. I don't know if they've lost with this hero pairing either. Well, I guess they haven't, because they haven't lost with Doom, so then they also wouldn't have lost with Doom Visage. Just looking over the drafts, I feel like this is one of the more challenging positions that I've seen OG in after the picks. Like the panel pointed out, I think their lanes could become rather challenged this game. So I think they need to be really intelligent about how they go about this to avoid the Jugger Lich lane having a high impact, and especially that Visage Doom finding a good start. Taiga on Viper as well. I feel like we've seen this before, and it's not... I don't think it went too well for OG in that game. That doesn't mean that they need to lose faith in it, obviously. It's just a small sample size, but it's not exactly, this kind of big playmaking hero that Taiga has the ability to take over games on.
Yeah, and I think the panel hit it on the head that it felt like one of those, hey, this is what Amar's going to play. Guess what? Not going to happen, actually. Like Ultra Flex, we'll see if it works out for them. A little bit risky from them for sure, but I mean, OG has been on an absolute roll, and Tundra's the one that are coming off of a loss. So yeah, we'll see if that that extra momentum ends up actually mattering here. As you can see, Taiga already taking heavy damage in that top lane, and Soul Assumption not quite enough. The Fairy Fire was there. As 33, like you said, will be playing the Visage as usual. It's probably pretty nice to have a TI winning coach that also plays Visage in AUI.
Probably not been to their detriment, at least. Also want to focus a little bit on the bottom lane here, because we've seen Amar take over games on this Razor. You're playing double ranged hero into Jugger, which is generally very good. Lich in this lane needs to kind of take more of a defensive role than you usually would like to with Jugger, but that doesn't mean the kills don't exist, especially when they get the level 2. OG do find the distance here to not get frost blasted, though.
Indeed, so some damage done to Amar with the Blade Fury, but they don't have the most kill potential quite yet, obviously with Amar. I mean, we should talk about, and I think this was brought up on the panel as well, eventually you're going to see the alacrity on the Juggernaut with that Omni/Slash combo. It is absolutely devastating. But we haven't really seen that much Jug, it feels like, in this patch. What makes it a good Jug game in your eyes?
I'm not sure what made it a good Jug game the moment they picked it. I think more than anything, Tundra are looking to find heroes that hit a similar timing to the Doom Visage. I don't think Jugger has any particularly amazing matchup in the draft at the time that it happens, but he has the timing going for him, where once Visage and Doom are online and want to fight, you group up, you have the Frost Blast that, you have the Frost Shield on Lich that you put on the Doom or the Jug, they run in, they begin the fight, and that's when you can pile on the damage with the Visage, and that's when you can also bring in your Invoker for that added pressure 9, by the way. Well, phase shift out that EMP, no problem.
Something that each team is kind of missing that we've been seeing in a lot of games is a Mars type offlane that is the big fat, initiating type hero. In this game, it's Doom, but that's a position 4. It's not going to get as much farm as you would expect. And the other side kind of feels like Puck, maybe. It's not like this standard initiator for both sides, which is interesting.
BZM does play a really amazing Puck, though, so he can definitely make it work in a game like this. Has to be a little bit cautious, obviously. He needs to not get doomed. Puck is not the best hero against Jugger for obvious reasons. And against Crosswex Invoker, I think Puck is a pretty good matchup here in general in the game. But as the panel pointed out, S4 was focusing on the Orchid on Visage, which could really be a powerful item in this game, not just against the Puck, but also against Monkey King. I think it's also a great way for them to deal with Seb's annoying Wind Ranger in certain situations. So Orchid into Axe or something along those lines might be what 33 chooses to go for here later in the game.
And in in the mid lane for 9, he is sitting on 16 and 7 for CS, and then you can see 20 and 1 for BZM, so he's off to a pretty good start.
As Invoker. It's not bad. Crosswex Invoker with 7 denies doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah, and I would assume that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, that 9's build is going to be fairly standard with an Urn into Midas, etc., etc. I mean, is this the Solar or Spirit Vessel game?
A prize.
There's a Monkey King. It's not, maybe don't rush it this game.
It's okay. Not sure.
Peter, gonna get off the Blade Fury. Nice stun from Snake King as well. Amar, will this be the first blood? The static link did so much to Skeeter. Very little damage to work with, and Snake King ends up getting the first blood anyway. Trades his life away, but Tundra with the first blood in game number 1.
That was very, very close. Jugger was completely out of damage, sitting on -10 currently, so couldn't have done any more. Snake King had to solo that. Just barely gets it. Amar very stunned by that, apparently.
Yep. I mean, I can't remember the last time I've seen such a performance from an offlane Razor.
Yeah.
Yesterday. That was quite something to behold, no doubt. I'm not sure if the same conditions exist this time around as Taiga. And Yuragi focusing on 33. You can see the Nether Toxin coming in, and Taiga's going to drop first. Yuragi ends up getting 33 in the end, though. And for the position 1 on OG, he's going to be fairly happy with this.
Worth focusing on, of course, as well, is what creep Doom gets. I think this is the S-tier creep of this lane. Having both the Mana Burn and the Mana Aura for his Visage is insane. This is going to keep Mana Burning the Monkey King whenever possible, and if he doesn't have Mana for the Boundless Strike, there's like almost no potential in this lane for OG to put pressure on Visage. They do get the trade-off kill there, but you imagine given enough time, Sox is just going to keep being so annoying here that they can't really get to play it anymore. It's going to Mana Burn the Viper, though, so Yuragi will actually have Mana now for 1 spell.
Yeah, man, as you can see, the aggression is onto Sox. It looks like it's a kill going the way of OG. Pops the Fairy Fire, but finally, Yuragi gets that last hit. TP support coming, and you can see Blade Fury in the bot lane, but they're going to turn this around onto Skeeter. Meanwhile, top lane, we can see 33 drops. Action all over the place. Taiga with the Urn Charge applied as 9 TP'd in. Looks like he'll find the double kill.
Pretty good overall for OG, though. Their mid-hero did not have to rotate, and they still get a pretty even trade across the board, so BZM take this opportunity to get a pretty serious CS advantage in the mid. And yeah, Soxo there using the Mana Burn on Viper meant he didn't have it for the Monkey King, who could then get off both his spells. It's very important for OG in order to set that whole thing up.
Yeah, we can see the position 1s. The Monkey King 28-8, Jug 23-7, so Yuragi having a slightly better game. Obviously 2 kills to his name as well.
And 33's Visage has no CS, I just realized. Has 11.
Oh, wow, you're
6 minutes in. This top lane is, I mean, they've been able to stand their ground and fight back, but as far as the CS go, leaves a lot to be desired here for 33. Wonder if that's going to affect his item build if he's not going to get the Orchid because he feels like the timing's going to be too far off. I think the next few minutes is going to ultimately decide what way he goes. Obviously, Visage has the luxury as a hero of buying all sorts of utility items. Orchid is one way to go, or the Ags, which is more of a carry way of thinking. But you can also buy auras, you can buy other enabling items for your teammates.
I mean, that mid lane, and we saw a couple of these here. Sox had picked up the Arcana, and he was continually mana burning.
One lane they faded in. Amar.
Yeah. Static Link did quite a bit, but 9 has the numbers now. There's the Tornado EMP. Amar trying to get a residual kill, but the Blade Fury doing enough. Stone Gaze was there from Snake King. Will they get the trade at the very least for Seb? He gets slowed in the meantime, though, and down he goes. Frostblast helping out. Eventually, he will go sooner, and I swear, double kill for 9. A great turnaround for Tundra overall. And Soxa continues to soak up so much XP in this mid lane as well.
This is how Crosswex Invoker plays. The hero doesn't want to just stand in the mid lane and farm, similar to what the Puck is doing here for the most part. I will say, though, 9 has been very active. You don't necessarily see 4 kills in 7 minutes.
Yeah, true.
But for him to rotate more than a Puck is actually very unsurprising. But it's very important that he has this much success so that he can keep up with Puck's net worth through kill gold, as Puck is now 15 CS ahead.
Right, and how much of that activity do you think comes from the fact that Soxa did get this creep? Because he's literally been sitting in the mid lane, just mana burning constantly, as you can see, the Invoker heat map here. Tornado, BZM, still out of mana because Soxa still exists in the game. Cold Snap is there with the Urn Charge as well.
Actually,
Soxa, Infernal Blade with the Scorched Earth is going to be enough. Fairy Fire won't be there. 9, another kill to his name. I feel like Soxa is just actually dominating the mid lane with the mana burn.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, bottom, another Blade Fury coming out onto Amar. Snaking gets off that sinister gaze, but there's a shackle from Seb. So much damage coming to the power shot as well. Skeeter gets off the healing ward, gets off the Omni Stack at the last second, gets the kill onto Amar, and now Soxa continuing the pressure onto Seb. Nice body blocks with the Frost Blast to come. Skeeter, oh, he goes down to Seb! The power shot again for him. He might get chased down, but no, the Scorched Earth won't be in range. A nice shackle shot as BZM with the first coil. Turnaround kills for OG. Very greedy from Skeeter there.
Yeah, I mean, he knows Windrun is on cooldown, and they do need that extra damage from Jugger to find the kill, but I don't think he was expecting Seb to just do a point-blank power shot to the right, clipping him and getting him on the last attack he could connect. You're going to see a replay of this whole play here, so this is looking really good. Love the way Skeeter played this, holding his Omni Slash this long, just having that patience to make sure he gets away from the creep wave, and he has an escape path as well here, jumping over to the right. And this is where you see, so 5 seconds cooldown still on that Windrun, but yeah, Skeeter just gets caught off guard, and this is huge for Seb. Then he gets the shackle on 20 health. Gets a bonus kill now for BZM on his first rotation.
All right, do you agree with, I was saying this on the panel, the OG podcast, that it feels like Seb's farewell party. It feels like his coming back party to me. I don't know about you. He's playing out of his mind right now, as OG are holding the 1K lead right now against a Doombringer. As the smoke will pop. Ragi jumps out of the tornado. Deafening Blast will connect onto Taiga.
Radiant's middle tower.
I'm not sure if Tundra want to continue here. In fact, OG looking to aggress instead. Balance strike onto 2. Pine Cone's helping out as well. As you can see, the familiars doing some damage to Taiga, but BZM just a little bit late to the party, as 4 members of OG won't be able to turn this around. Meanwhile, Skeeter getting chased by Amar. Has to use his Blade Fury, but so much damage done with that static link and Eye of the Storm combo. Yeah. Pretty annoying for Juggernaut to go against this, considering you can't. I mean, that's one of the big benefits of Jug, is you can dispel most things with Blade Fury. Well, not static link.
I'm sorry, I'm having a laugh at this. Skeeter is trying to see us with minus 30 damage. He just keeps trying. He's like, I'm getting this one, I'll time it perfectly.
It's good practice, either way.
Yeah, well, he's staying on his toes, and he would have got all the CS if he had damage, but...
Yep, Seb breaking a smoke. Not able to get off the shackle, though. As Soxa still... I mean, I talked about how impactful he was in the mid lane, but look at this farm on a Doom.
Amar's in big trouble.
Yeah, got the static link to start for Skeeter, trying to get out of range. Infernal Blade is there with the mana burn as well. Soxa and company look to be cleaning up Amar relatively easily. Wukong's command does come out from Yuragi, so at the very least they get a support kill. We'll see if they turn this into more.
Biggest winner in all of this is probably 33 in the offlane, just getting some space. Like we covered, he had a rough start, he needs some time to recover. And he's just getting to sit here, and now he has the drum completed, so we'll get that value item. The Orchid is probably not going to be bought at all at this point. I think it's fair to say, or safe to say, that he will get something else. Maybe Wraith Pact is a potential angle here.
Isn't it always Wraith Pact? Is there any question? Honestly.
Well, yeah, I think if he had an awesome start, he would not have gone this build. I'm pretty convinced. Okay. Even though, I mean, it is very good for their lineup, so maybe he still would have opted for the drum, but yeah. It's good for his team. It's going to bring Jugger into the fight easier. It's going to bring Doom into the fight, and they're just going to be able to put Frost Shield on them, run them in, do some AoE damage, enabling Soul Assumption. Activating Cold Snap is really easy for Doom. He has so many damage over time abilities with Scorched Earth as well as Infernal Blade to just keep chain stunning the single target that they're on.
Amar cleaning up some creeps here.
Mar's 0-4. I think this should be mentioned. This is not a familiar situation for him this playoff. So Amar actually playing a game kind of from behind. He's the lowest net worth core of the game currently.
Yeah, that is not something we ever... I mean, like I was saying earlier, those stocks, do you think that farm is going to come back to bite them at all? As Tundra getting gone on a bit. Static link applied to 33. Coil is there as well. Easy burst onto 33. Snaking. Oh, a nice jackal from Seb comes out again. Second kill for OG. They eat up that EMP. We can see the pig pole Blade Fury combo. Something to truly fear. A spinning pig
will be enough for him to get away. But 2 kills for OG, and they're pressuring that bottom tower as well.
Unfortunately for Tundra, they kind of countered each other's plays. 9 got a really good tornado, but the chain frosted at the same time, and it didn't bounce to a new target afterwards. So perhaps there was a turn-on potential there from Tundra. And Snake King has to throw out the chain frost there. He was about to die, so it's kind of all in. All right, immediate response. Tundra not going to take any breaks, just straight into mid. There's no coil, and there's no Razor ult.
Yeah, and they popped a drum charge already. And the tier 1 tower is what they have their sights on, but you see no creep wave quite yet. Seb and BZM are here. Tornado EMP will clip Seb. And the cold snap as well, but Mar has come with a plasma field. There's 4 members of Tundra here. And the healing ward will be expended. They want to reset and re-engage.
Plasma field plus power shot, both level 4. When they connect on one hero on max range, it's quite nasty. Even a Visage with Gravekeeper's Cloak is taking significant damage.
I feel like it's really hard for Tundra to start fights without this Blink Dagger on Oxia, so he is just farming away in the jungle right now.
This could be
about 700 away.
Very, very dangerous.
Yeah, a bunch of TPs coming. Wukong's command Balance Strike misses, but the Blade Fury is there. You can see the coil was used for Soxa. Still going to be a kill going the way of OG, but maybe could have been better.
Yeah, that was a swing and a miss. At the very least, they do find the Doom, so consolation prize for Yuragi.
Lamar holding his ground in the mid lane. You can see because of the rough start he had, I did see the gloves of haste, so I was wondering if he was going to go Midas, and he did. So we'll see if he can catch up at all, knowing that, of course, you're going against a Doom, and you're going against another Midas for the Invoker.
It's like, that's just so Amar, isn't it?
It feels like a pub mentality, right?
How can I get back to top net worth? What is the... I'll do anything for gold.
Yeah. I mean, greed has certainly worked for them in this tournament.
This is a case in point. We had this interview with Seb the other day where he was like, oh, hang on.
Soxa might be dead. Echo Server being shown by Yuragi. Down he goes. Still no Blink Dagger. But Tornado will clip Yuragi. This would be a high-value kill for Tundra. Frost Blast as well. 9 is Alacrity. 33 is in the area as well. But look, the Chaos Meter completely off into the trees. Yuragi goes. He might just be fine. They're going to spot him. In fact, he's going to jump back onto the trees. Gets on the Balance Strike on the 2. They find 2 in turn. OG turning around a fight that should not have gone their way. That was sick play. Man, Yuragi is playing so risky on these trees, but it worked out.
Just very nice weaving in and out with that Monkey King. Huge. Oh.
Yeah, coil. Skeeter. This is going to hold him in place for a bit as Taiga comes to play as well. Viper Strike is there into the illusory orb. Will he tick away? Healing Ward continuing to heal, but the Balance Strike from Yuragi. He seems to be everywhere. And OG starting to take full control of this game.
Yeah, this is a pretty massive lead. 5,000 gold up, minute 16. The enemy team has a position for Doom, who has the same net worth as Windranger. So Soxa has been dominating on this hero in general this tournament, but this is probably the roughest start he's had.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very good look for OG if they can take a victory against arguably Tundra's best strategy in game #1.
Sinister Gaze in combination. Okay, Seb is just donezo. Top lane though, Soxa does get out this time, and that's very important because he's only 100 gold off that Blink Dagger. Obviously a lot later than he would have wanted it. But the tier 1 tower going the way of Tundra, trying to find some momentum to get back into this game. You can see 33 working on an Aghanim Scepter, so you get that...
so he will go Ags.
Oh. Yeah, the Invis and the high ground stuff, and I don't even know what the skill is called, but we'll find out eventually.
I actually forgot to.
And you're just gonna look it up, it looks
Silent as the Grave. I was like, it's called Silent something.
Silent as the Grave.
It is a pretty nice name, actually.
I was gonna say the opposite. It's too long to say. What are you gonna say? He's silent as the graved into the fight. It sounds just awful. Seb having himself another terrific game on this position 5 Windranger, which, yeah. Who else plays Windrunner in this capacity as a position 5? I feel like it's so rare.
Not many.
And he's just showing it up on the major, and nobody else is trying to copycat him. It's too late to learn him, apparently, right?
I mean, Seb was having a good time there mid, getting a couple of creeps, but then Amar was like, that's gold. So I'm just driving by, bro. I'll just take a couple and leave.
Yeah, easy.
Like Seb's in the interview. Oh, hang on. He's going to get doomed mid. He is more than likely dead, unless
Yuragi with the Wukong's command, Balance Strike, turning this around onto Soxa. It looks like Seb should be fine. Soxa, pig pull. He's going to gets slowed a bit by Taiga. Eventually, they will find it. They're coiled onto 2. They're both going to break it, and Amar coming in. OG taking full control of this game. 3 dead. Barely any damage done by Tundra, and they're going to take a tier 1 tower as well.
I really thought they were going to be able to connect on that Doom in time onto the Wind Ranger, but no way. They don't have the right Doom creep for this. Having the Mana Burn now is not that good. He wants to either have the Purge or the War Stomp, so that they can actually kill the guy he catches with Doom. Seb just takes a few steps back, the reinforcements arrive, and it's no problem whatsoever.
Amar is second in net worth.
he's climbing.
I don't understand. This is so bad for pubs across the world. You're losing your lane, you buy a mite, usually you just lose them. And Amar showing again that he's just on another level, it seems.
This is what Seb meant when he was like, they are the direct opposites in the game. I think Seb, if he played offlane Razor, would not have bought Midas in this game.
Wow, shocking.
He would have taken another angle, like, how can I enable my teammates? Amari's like, how can I enable myself?
Yeah.
And, well, he's finding a way. The BKB is almost out now, so has fully recovered, more than fully, actually. Man, I'm still just surprised how Uragi is this far ahead. I know he has 8 kills, but his net worth is insane. He must have got some good kill streaks. You see the problem here. They get the Doom out in the Mana Burn. Seb is like, okay, I'll just walk away, I guess.
Yeah, no lockdown. And we talked about the lack of this initiation. So much pressure on Soxa. But like you said, without that War Stomp, it's just very little Doom can actually do.
They do have the Invoker Orchid now, so 9 is able to find more reliable initiation until BKBs come out. Right? Seb learned from Moon Meander. Pounding there on his hand. Very good.
EU map.
Not sure what he counted to. I don't know.
That looked like horns to me. It was the...
Maybe it was a gang sign.
Yeah, that sounds like Seb. 6K lead for OG, and yet to have a Roche attempt this game. Not the best Roche teams, but certainly once you get to a certain point, it'll be relatively easy. Is BKB now online for the Monkey King? Taiga and Amar. So there's the Ag. Silent as the Night on 33.
As the Grave.
Damn it! That's why it's unacceptable naming conventions here. I'll just call it Silent.
He uses the silent.
Yeah, as long as there's no silencer in the game.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Uh-oh. We got some issues here for 9. Balance strike from Uragi. He's going to pop the Wukong's command as well. There is a Frost Shield, but not enough damage mitigation this time around. And OG seemingly just getting whatever the hell they want. I mean, at what point do they feel comfortable going for Roche? Okay, they're going for Roshan.
Now is that point.
Yes. So getting a high value kill on the Tundra mid laner. The first Aegis likely to go to OG unless Tundra can get some sort of crazy steal. But as we can see on the minimap, they are scanning it, but it's likely to be too late. There's a Crimson Guard picked up by Taiga. Pretty cool against Visage.
Yeah. Can of course be countered by Invoker and by Doom. So it's not a guaranteed protection, but it will be offering at least some protection for the right heroes if used correctly. And it is going to offer some nice protection against the Visage Ags, right? Because a lot of the time, Visage will try to find an angle and attack on its own to begin with. And if you Crimson up the target that Visage flanks on...
He's silented. 33.
Okay.
In the trees.
Silent as the Nightgrave.
BZM. Oh, they will spot him. It's going to be a tough kill for the solo 33. Instead, BZM actually going to come back to play. Not sure if he actually wants to go for this. Has the Witchblade, of course, just going for the familiars. Not able to take him out quite yet.
Socks again.
Yeah, they find him. There's the shackle set up by the Boundless Strike. Another kill for OG. They're running away with this game. And there's the Gale Force. 9 going to be spotted. Deafening Blast comes out, but 9 is completely surrounded. Gets off the Chaos Meteor, but it's not going to matter at all. Shackle again from Seb. Double kill for Uragi. As we the tier 2 tower now. It's going to be damaged at the very least. Frost Shield applied, but still with the Aegis advantage on to OG. Not showing any signs of slowing down.
33 is trying to find a solo kill here on BZM. He used the orb, but max level phase shift into Blink, no problem.
Yep, down goes the tier 2, and OG.
Tundra are a little bit lost right now. Like, it's hard for them to find the openings that their lineup is meant to. They really want this Visage to be able to find find solo picks, but Puck is unkillable because he doesn't have the Orchid. It's hard for him to kill the Monkey King for obvious, you know, he's just super farmed. He can't really kill the Viper because of the Crimson Guard. Wind Ranger has Wind Run. You know, like, what target do you actually have as this Visage Axe carrier? It's kind of tough. And they're splitting up the map. They're trying to find farm and play efficiently, but effectively, OG are like blocking off 60% of the map with their aggressive vision, and they're just running at them. And every time they find a Doom or they find a Lich out in the jungle, they just kill them quickly. And it's hard for Tundra to fight back.
And
Especially in Aegis, there's just no way.
Yeah, for sure. I actually want to talk about Skeeter's build, the Battle Fury. I don't see that much Juggernaut these days, but obviously Battle Fury and Maelstrom are kind of the choices, right?
Yeah.
You think Battle Fury may be a little too greedy when you have a Doom and a Midas on your mid Invoker?
I don't think it is theoretically. I just think this game went wrong a couple of times. They got outplayed and lost some fights. If things went according to plan, I think this Battle Fury would have paid off really well for him. So that's just how it is sometimes, right? Like you
Tiger being spotted out. There's a Blade Fury from Skeeter. Wukong's Commando, Yuragi, OG are here in numbers. 33 is super dead. Gets Gale Force back into the Wukong's command. So again, looks like BZM actually dropped to Snaking though.
got doomed.
So that's a 1-for-1 that Tundra will take every time, but can they get out with their lives? Another shackle from Seb. Yuragi on the trees, Boundless Strike ready to go, and a couple more right clicks will do it. Soxa able to get out. Skeeter, he's in the trees, he's gonna be spotted, and Skeeter looks to be falling as well. Gets off the Blade Fury, but a static link is there. And the chase easily by OG. 3-for-1, OG favored again.
Yeah, his TP gets late, gets ready 5 seconds too late, so he actually couldn't make it out there, just hiding in the trees, hoping that they don't look for him, but they did. Yuragi covering every angle as Monkey King.
Middle tower is under attack.
And I think if not for him, they actually would have got out. I don't think the other heroes were likely to go check there or be successful if they tried. Monkey with that flying vision.
Oh boy,
easy.
Soxa has just been food for OG this game. Another Boundless Strike, another Shackle Shot. You've seen this before, because OG has done it repeatedly this game to help build this 10K net worth lead.
Oh, they just got 33 as well.
Yep, he's going to be Viper struck onto the high ground with the silent as to whatever the hell that skill is called. Doesn't matter. Double kill for Yuragi. Again, all over the map as they find a familiar in addition. And now they can try to go poke the high ground with this Aegis for another 40 seconds.
How do Tundra defend this? They have Frost Shield from Snaking. He's going to TP back now, just ready.
Oh, BKB Amar. All right. That is the ultimate aggressive play right there by Amar. The taunting is real. They get the tier 3 tower. We'll see if OG want to reset it all, knowing that this Aegis is going to be consumed in 20 seconds. Yuragi then gets the Boundless Strike. There's the Gale Force as well. Skeeter getting extremely low. Able to Blade Fury out, though. He'll have to try and reset. Has that healing work going out as the Chain Frost only bounces once. As Yuragi likely will reset to get this Aegis refresh going. Nice shackle again from Seb. Seems to have a 100% shackle rate this game, it feels like. Yuragi back to full mana and HP.
I saw him miss one.
That's true. When I said that, I remembered. I was hoping you wouldn't remember, but you're just a robot, so I guess I should know better next time. TP in now from Yuragi onto the enemy outpost, which is now theirs. 33 spotted out again. Okay. That was the gem spotting out the ward as well. The Shackle, Viper Strike, Gale Force combination. 33 is just perma-stun here. Nice Omni Slash though, so Taiga will be the trade. Tundra getting something out of this, but they lose Soxa. Another Shackle by Seb. Meteor coming out, Skeeter with the TP, but the right-click damage is way too much to handle as OG looking to take game 1 in extremely convincing fashion. They'll find the Invoker as well. Double kill for Amar. And OG looking to finish off that mid-rack, but GG is called, and OG completely shellacked Tundra in game number 1.
Looked even in the beginning, but then OG hit their 15-minute mid-game timing. They get the Gale Force out. I think Yuragi played an outstanding game on Monkey King this game. 15-1-8.
Wow, yeah.
Found countless opportunities. And even with BZM being maybe a little bit quieter
Could be. They could also just feel like it was one of those heroes that like got you in that lane last time. They don't want their off lane going up against another support Viper potentially. It's like what is hero, especially if all these summons are getting banned out from OG, which traditionally is what works against that hero. Could just feel like the pressure's on. I will say though, I think OG is one of these teams that understands itemization for what they want to do very well, and we've seen they're just building the support, the tanky items on these heroes in terms of the Crimson, the Wraith Pact. I think they're going to build it on any hero they get. And honestly, whatever that hero is, it might not even matter, right? It's just the fact that they're buffing up their tri-core. You have 3 cores dealing damage supported by all these big buffs. That's what you have to deal with in these fights. Dispels could be nice. The ability to combat that, I think the Pugna already helps a little bit. Tundra can get their own ball going, then at least you're even.
Going for the Doom again. You guys weren't sure about this one.
I mean, do you just go for the Grimstroke just to be able to take away the double Doom? I'm a big fan of Snapfire here, just because Pugna doesn't get to play the game against the Snapfire. You also can insta-kill his ward, and if he gets any kind of items, he's going to go for the Wraith Pack most of the time, and then you have a little shredder to deal with that as well.
So basically they're going to go for objective damage from Tundra. They're doing this Doom, and they're going to couple it with maybe a Visage again. And I think it's a good way for them to play this game. Instead of catching the puck, they're going to put down the netherward, and then they're going to hit towers. And Puck has to blast himself in the netherward. And it might be better than the other route, which is catch.
I mean, OG could pick Grimstroke here, couldn't we? We've seen that paired with CK a ton throughout this tournament.
They could definitely steal it. They do have the Soulbind for the Pango. I wouldn't be surprised to see them take Phoenix, though. I feel like OG is going to be very comfortable in this game if they can just build up teamfight, build up the wall, force Tundra in a position like last game where they have to run at these tier 1s, and they're just happy to take the defensive fight, scale up with their extra offlaner core. I'd be worried if Tundra falls too far behind on like the scaling teamfight at this point in the draft.
That's IO is a very strong pick into Doom. He basically soft counters Doom. Doom is very high cooldown, and Whisper resets high cooldown spells with the relocate and the overcharge heals Doom. So you can man-fight Doom in the game.
I mean, you also get this IO-CK pair. If that's what they choose to throw on carry. They still have some flex options, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this Monkey potentially back on support, or them decide last pick last minute. But IO-CK, IO-Monkey, these are tough lanes for Tundra to roll over, so already you kind of have to gear up to be able to combat them, and that's where OG has shown, at least in that game 1, they did not look beatable in those team fights.
No, they didn't.
I mentioned the Snapfire for OG, but it seems like they're going to be staying away from it. It looks okay for Tundra, but they will go with the Hoodwink, a little bit of a break mechanic, and I don't think we've seen much of a Hoodwink during the DPC. This year was extremely popular, and teams were owning with it. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe we don't have the information.
No.
Not necessarily.
I mean, I wouldn't rate it extremely
just throwing it out there, you know.
I don't think of Hoodwink as an IO counter in really any regard. I mean, you have some crazy bursts, that's always nice, but you can kind of do that versus any lineup.
Right.
I think here they just, again, they want their duel lanes to be more aggressive. That's what it signals to me. Like, they don't want to have this situation where their off lane loses. I think you pick this hero, at least Tundra's idea is, they're picking Hoodwink when they want Zoxid to win that lane with this hero, snowball the game, build up the early aggressive damage, get the core Doom snowballing, and be able to kick OG out of that lane instead of getting kicked out of that lane like we saw in game 1. That's what it signals to me, which I think is a decent route to go here. We've also seen Sox just pop off on this hero. I think it was one of his favorite heroes during that DPC league, so, you know, busting out something that OG might not have expected a little bit.
Right.
People haven't played versus it in a while, you kind of forget some of the small interactions. Gives you a little bit of an advantage.
So we see the bans from OG. They're doing a Naga ban. You might ask why they're doing a Naga ban with their lineup. They're basically banning Vision heroes for Doom. And Naga is one of the Vision heroes. He sends out illusions on lanes and gives Doom a good fight. And next ban might even be Terrorblade.
It's also a very good reset against the Coil and the Wukong's command. Like, they can also set things up for a relocate if they're coming back. So a lot of value from this Naga Siren. But looking at the ways that they can deal with the illusions, once Naga gets like 2 items, it would be very difficult for OG to deal with that. So their lanes would always be pushed in.
So this puck, I want to go back to puck into Pango. They directly picked it in Pango, and it's a good way to stop roll. You have a silence to stop the roll animation, and then you have coil. And if they stop the roll animation, it means that CK has a free fight. So how they're going to win fights here on OG is stopping the Pango.
There really isn't much else for the CK at the moment. I would just put a carry here. I think you're super happy. I also don't think we've seen Amar play offlane Chaos Knight pretty much at all, right? So Tundra's got to be thinking it's an Amar hero coming last year, which they leave Mars. We've also seen him play Centaur, which gives you some extra Doom interaction. I mean, the catch on Tundra could be pretty limited for some of these mobility spells in this game. They're afraid of Night Stalker just running to the backline, which I can understand. They also have that Night Stalker IO combo, which we've seen be devastating this tournament.
5 seconds remaining.
So if they end up picking a Wisp partner on the offlane, that means Monkey has to go 5, and I don't think they're happy about that, OG. They would rather have Monkey being on the offlane and Wisp CK safe lane. We'll see though.
I think it's just Seb Monkey.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be Seb Monkey, but they can switch lanes.
No, yeah, I agree. I think that's, you know, it depends on what they say they can do either, for sure.
Yeah.
I just don't see Amar playing any of these heroes right now. And like I said, they left the Mars, so gotta think they're thinking about it here just to get the catch, get the lockdown. There's more lockdown though.
Okay. Wow. That's still big counter to Pango there. We just kind of missed it.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough for Pango to come into this game playing into Coil, playing into Bloodseeker as well. It's just going to be very, very difficult. Like, it's definitely hard to even like itemize because all of your items are very expensive if you want to protect yourself with the BKB, with the Lincoln Sphere. This should be like your second item in this game, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get that, considering like OG, like they're fighting after 10-15 minutes, they come into the fight, and this is where they start building up the advantage.
It's also if this Pango gets shut down, who's dealing with Chaos Knight in this game?
They have very limited damage output on side of Tundra.
It has to be this last pick. They have to get one more thing against CK. It can't be Pango only.
I think it's been hard for teams to get it from the carry roll this tournament, though.
Yeah, I'd say Sven is not good in this game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're not getting that many heroes.
I mean, they banned the Dusa earlier as well, which I think has been Tundra's kind of go-to. They took the Monkey King, which has been the other big one this tournament.
One of the like classic is Raid King, because you don't care too much about the Rupture. I mean, Rupture's not going to be used on you anyway. They're mostly going to be aiming for the Pango, and if this is going to be position 5 Monkey, then things shift around. If it's carry to carry, then you don't like to be playing into it, because the Wukong's command, you're going to die anyway after you respawn, but I feel like that's a decent approach, because they need some explosive damage, like they need like 1-2 item timing on their carry to be able to get some tower damage and also be able to match up what OG is doing.
Yeah, I do think you're right about the Wraith King. It's going to be their comfort pick here, and it's going to enable the Pagna. And this Pagna could potentially carry them this game through his spells if Wraith King gives them the space. It's objective damage. That's what you're going for. Pagna Netherward, put down, Troll, kill tower, kill Roshan.
Just set up for the taking the buildings, almost like a sort of siege.
And OG is going to split push this game, I think. It's going to be an interesting game.
Who would you prefer? Whose draft would you prefer, Tundra or OG?
If I were to play this game, I would want to be OG. Okay. That's all I can say.
SVG.
I think OG is probably going to feel more comfortable, but I can see Tundra taking this game if their lanes go really well. I think this is even more than last game. They have to win side lanes. I think if Tundra loses side lanes, this is a 75% OG favorite game.
Wow, Lacoste.
And I tend to agree. I think Troll is very slow coming into the game, and this Pango's playing into 2 counters, so it's going to be very difficult for him to just make stuff around the map. Also, Pagna 5, like, they need to be grouping around, and I've just lost the faith in Troll a long time ago. As a
yeah, no, we've heard.
Back to the Troll hate. I knew it was coming.
I have faith.
Ouch! Spain, Spain!
5 seconds remaining.
Oh
OG's turn to ban. Dire team ban. OG's turn to ban. Dire team ban. OG's turn to pick. Dire team pick.
Okay, Seb indeed. But Tundra are going to step up this game. They want to turn this around. They definitely want to go out on a fast 2-0. That cannot happen. OG stand in their way. Can they do it? Can they do it? I don't know. I believe so. I think they can. I know what they're going to do. I'm going to decide their entire draft right now. Right, I've written it down.
You were talking with Owie backstage, gave him some tips.
Maybe he may have texted me their draft.
I think their win percentage just dropped a little bit. But,
no, you watch this.
You don't have to write it down. We do have a draft.
He's looking at it.
I wrote Pugner and Panga.
But you did actually. Wow, what a coincidence. But yeah, Tundra mixing it up and going back to a hero that's proven time and time again. They're just demolishing foes. I think they're still undefeated with Pango at this tournament, I believe.
I think there's 6 out of 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Look at OG. This is not a coincidence. Seb's win range are 10 out of 10 games won. At one point, you have to stop it. You have to say it's enough.
Everybody seems to refuse to ban it. I guess they think it won't work this time, and it just keeps doing it.
So we see a Pugna here, and I think you want to address this here right away. And we saw Gaming Gladiators. They've been running Enchantress, and I think he counters Pugna in the game and in the lane. So I want to see them address this Pugna.
Not a hero OG's been playing though, right? I mean, you're talking about it. I don't think Seb's going to play these Chen Enches. He's going to play the stunners. Just get in there, create some space for his cores. And already OG getting that puck matchup they love versus Pangolier. They're also a big Pango team, so they're going to understand what they like versus hero. What opponents have been trying to play versus them all tournament with it. It's a pretty strong opening from OG just in terms of the team fight. Chaos Knight has felt unstoppable this tournament. You were saying that was the one hero you were thinking is going to get banned this series. Now it's a question of, all right, you don't want to play versus that Razor. I can understand that because it's just so annoying for your safe lane. But now you have to pick carries into this Chaos Knight, which is, I feel like, where people have struggled.
So wait, unless I'm reading the stats wrong, I think Tundra has picked Pango 7 times, and they've won 85% of the time.
Okay, so they dropped 1 game. I have not updated my stats.
I could be wrong, Lacoste. You may well be correct. You're much smarter.
Well, we'll say Lacoste is wrong for now. And
Let's just keep it that way. Pango is one of the heroes that is very good against the CK because he can just kill the illusions. CK, like once he gets to like level 20, he still doesn't deal well with his magic immunity, so that's one of the problems with the hero. And also the disarm pre-BKB does shut down hero quite a lot, but they do have this puck, which is always going to be good, not just against the Pango, but also against Pugna in the backlines, because you can go for the solo kills if you wanted to cripify yourself. Puck does have a Witchblade amplifying the damage, so it's very tricky to play into it.
Okay, so they banned Vipers just now, and I believe Tundra, they want to pick Dragonite, and they want to instant stun. I think they're aiming for a DK Grim second phase.
Oh yeah?
And I believe Skeeter might play the DK if they end up doing it. They need to enable Pugna 5. He's actually one of the heroes where you need to pick a strong safe lane, like Wraith King, Chaos Knight, DK, something like that. And I believe they're banning for DK a little bit. We'll see.
Could be. They could also just feel like it was one of those heroes that like got you in that lane last time. They don't want their off lane going up against another support Viper potentially. It's like what is hero, especially if all these summons are getting banned out from OG, which traditionally is what works against that hero. I could just feel like the pressure's on. I will say though, I think OG is one of these teams that understands itemization for what they want to do very well, and we've seen they're just building the support, the tanky items on these heroes in terms of the Crimson, the Wraith Pact. I think they're going to build it on any hero they get, and honestly, whatever that hero is, it might not even matter, right? It's just the fact that they're buffing up their tri-core. You have 3 cores dealing damage supported by all these big buffs. That's what you have to deal with in these fights. Dispels could be nice. The ability to combat that, I think the Pugna already helps a little bit. Tundra can get their own ball going, then at least you're even.
Going for the Doom again. You guys weren't sure about this one.
I mean, do you just go for the Grimstroke just to be able to take away the double Doom? I'm a big fan of Snapfire here, just because Pognak doesn't get to play the game against the Snapfire. You also can insta-kill his ward, and if he gets any kind of items, he's going to go for the Braid Pack most of the time, and then you have a little shredder to deal with that as well.
So basically they're going to go for objective damage on Tundra. They're doing this Doom, and they're going to couple it with maybe a Visage again. And I think it's a good way for them to play this game. Instead of catching the puck, they're going to put down the nether ward, and then they're going to hit towers. And puck has to blast himself in the nether ward. And it might be better than the other route, which is catch.
I mean, OG could pick Grimstroke here, couldn't we? We've seen that played with CK a ton throughout this tournament.
They can definitely steal it. They do have the Soulbind for the Pango. I wouldn't be surprised to see them take Phoenix, though. I feel like OG is going to be very comfortable in this game if they can just build up teamfight, build up the wall, force Tundra in a position like last game where they have to run at these tier 1s and they're just happy to take the defensive fight, scale up with their extra offlaner core. I'd be worried if Tundra falls too far behind on like the scaling teamfight at this point in the draft.
That's IO is a very strong pick into Doom. He basically soft counters Doom. Doom is very high cooldown, and Wisp resets high cooldown spells with the relocate and the overcharge heals Doom. So you can man fight Doom in the game.
I mean, you also get this IO-CK pair. That's what they choose to throw on carry. They still have some flex options, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this Monkey potentially back on support or them decide last pick last minute. But IO-CK, IO-Monkey, these are tough lanes for Tundra to roll over, so already you kind of have to gear up to be able to combat them, and that's where OG has shown, at least in that game 1, they did not look beatable in those team fights.
No, they didn't.
I mentioned the Snapfire for OG, but seems like they're going to be staying away from it. It looks okay for Tundra, but they will go with the Hoodwink, a little bit of a break mechanic, and I don't think we've seen much of a Hoodwink during the DPC. This hero was extremely popular, and teams were owning with it. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe we don't have the information from the scrims, but the hero still feels very strong.
Is this particularly good against IO because you're always going to get the pushback against 2 because the IO is going to be tethered to someone, that sort of thing? No.
Not necessarily.
I mean, I wouldn't rate it extremely
just throwing it out there, you know.
I don't think of Hoodwink as an IO counter in really any regard. I mean, you have some crazy bursts, that's always nice, but you can kind of do that versus any lineup.
Right.
I think here they just, again, they want their duel lanes to be more aggressive. That's what it signals to me. Like, they don't want to have this situation where their offlane loses. I think you pick this hero, at least Tundra's idea is they're picking Hoodwink when they want Zoxit to win that lane with this hero, snowball the game, build up the early aggressive damage, get the core Doom snowballing, and be able to kick OG out of that lane instead of getting kicked out of that lane like we saw in game 1. That's what it signals to me, which I think is a decent route to go here. We've also seen Sox just pop off on this hero. I think it was one of his favorite heroes during that DPC league, so you know, busting out something that OG might not have expected a little bit.
Right.
People haven't played versus it in a while. You kind of forget some of the small interactions. Gives you a little bit of an advantage.
So we see the bans from OG. They're doing a Naga ban. You might ask why they're doing a Naga ban with their lineup. They're basically banning Vision heroes for Doom. And Naga is one of the Vision heroes. He sends out illusions on lanes and gives Doom a good fight. And next ban might even be Terrorblade.
It's also a very good reset against the Coil and the Wukong's command. Like, and they can also set things up for a relocate if they're coming back. So a lot of value from this Naga Siren. But looking at the ways that they can deal with the illusions, once Naga gets like 2 items, it would be very difficult for OG to deal with that. So their lanes would always be pushed in.
So this Puck, I want to go back to Puck into Pango. They directly picked it in Pango, and it's a good way to stop roll. You have silence to stop the roll animation, and then you have coil. And if the roll animation, it means that CK has a free fight. So how we're gonna win fights here on OG is stopping the Pango.
There really isn't much else for CK at the moment. I would just put it carry here. I think you're super happy. I also don't think we've seen Amar play offlane Chaos Knight pretty much at all, right? So Tundra's got to be thinking it's an Amar hero coming last year, which they leave Mars. We've also seen him play Centaur, which gives you some extra Doom interaction. I mean, the catch on Tundra could be pretty limited for some of these mobility spells in this game. Night Stalker running to the back line, which I can understand. They also have that Night Stalker IO combo, which we've seen be devastating this tournament.
Remaining.
So if they end up picking a Wisp partner on the offlane, that means Monkey has to go 5, and I don't think they're happy about that, OG. They would rather have Monkey being on the offlane and Wisp CK safe lane. We'll see though.
I think it's just Seb Monkey.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be Seb Monkey, but they can switch lanes.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think that's, it depends on what they see. You can do either for sure.
Yeah.
I just don't see Amar playing any of these heroes right now. Like I said, they left the Mars, so gotta think they're thinking about it here just to get the catch, get the lockdown. There's more lockdown though.
Okay. Wow. They still big counter to Pango there, which just kind of missed it.
It's going to be very tough for Pango to come into this game playing into Coil, playing into Bloodseeker as well. It's just going to be very, very difficult. Like, it's definitely hard to even like itemize because all of your items are very expensive. If you want to protect yourself with the BKB, with the Lincoln Sphere, this should be like your second item in this game, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get that, considering like OG, like they're fighting after 10-15 minutes, they come into the fight, and this is where they start building up the advantage.
It's also this pain will get shut down. Who's dealing with Chaos Knight in this game?
They have very limited damage output on side of Tundra.
It has to be this last pick. They have to get one more thing against CK. It can't be Pango only.
I think it's been hard for teams to get it from the carry role this tournament, though.
Yeah, I'd say Sven is not good in this game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're not getting that many heroes.
They banned the Dusa earlier as well, which I think has been Tundra's kind of go-to. They took the Monkey King, which has been the other big one this tournament.
One of the like classic is Raid King, because you don't care too much about the Rupture. I mean, Rupture's not going to be used on you anyway. They're mostly going to be aiming for the Pango, and if this is going to be position 5 Monkey, then things shift around. If it's carry to carry, then you don't like to be playing into it, because the Wukong's command, you're going to die anyway after you respawn. But I feel like that's a decent approach, because they need some explosive damage. Like they need like 1-2 item timing on their carry to be able to get some tower damage and also be able to match up what OG's doing.
Yeah, I do think you're right about the Raid King. It's going to be their comfort pick here, and it's going to enable the Pagna. And this Pagna could potentially carry them this game through his spells if Raid King gives them the space to come into the game.
Yeah, at least with Raid King, you can go some Armlet Deso and try and up the game, get early Aegises. I think Aegis is also a big deal for Tundra this game. There's another hero that prioritizes it. I'm not sure if that team fight's going to be amazing with him going into Rupture and Coil, and there's a lot of gunk for him to just charge through.
Gunk indeed, that's going to be rough.
It's objective damage, that's what you're going for. Pagna Netherward, put down, Troll kill tower, kill Roshan.
Just set up for the taking the buildings, almost like a sort of siege.
And OG is going to split push this game, I think. So it's going to be an interesting game.
Who would you prefer? Whose draft would you prefer, Tundra or OG?
If I were to play this game, I would want to be OG. Oh, that's all I can say.
SVG.
I think OG is probably going to feel more comfortable, but I can see Tundra taking this game if their lanes go really well. I think this is even more than last game. They have to win side lanes. I think if Tundra loses side lanes, this is a 75% OG favorite game.
Wow, Lacoste.
And I tend to agree. I think Troll is very slow coming into the game, and this Pango's playing into 2 counters, so it's going to be very difficult for him to just make stuff around the map. Also, Pagna 5, like they need to be grouping around, and I've just lost the faith in Troll a long time ago as a hero.
Yeah, no, we heard.
Back to the Troll hate. I knew it was coming.
I have faith in his Pango. His Pango has been insane.
Even against the Bloodseeker, you have faith.
Yeah, he is very good Pango. He's probably the best, one of the best here.
Okay. Well, we're going to give it to our casters. Sunspan and Cinder and Lads, take it away.
Thank you, Purian. Sunspan and Cinder here with the lower bracket finals between OG and Tundra. OG up 1-0. If they win, Cinder, this, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, will be their 5th major appearance as a organization, yet to lose as well. They literally have not lost the grand finals in that stage. Obviously a much different lineup, but and this is only game 2, so who knows what can happen. But if the panel's any indication, this is a scary ass lineup from OG. That Bloodseeker looks like a God tier pick to me.
Yeah, there's multiple things in this game that look strong for OG, and like the panel was talking about, winning lanes is kind of paramount if you're Tundra in this. They opt to go for the Saksa Hoodwink this time around, which he has played earlier in this has been Doom that he has been playing in the playoffs, but this time they're going to pivot that to a position 3 against, I would argue, some relatively difficult core matchups for Doom. He's playing against Chaos Knight, he's playing against Monkey King, the Monkey King being support though, and even getting ruptured as Doom is actually very annoying. This hero wants to keep running around in fights and hitting people and not being immobile. So definitely got their work cut out for them. I think the reason they went for the Hoodwink for Soxa was that they felt like in the last game they were struggling with finding vision in trees, and now they have a hero where if you see the Monkey King jumping around, you have a chance of catching him with a bushwhack, you have the chance of finding him with Scurry, but obviously it goes both ways, right? Yeah. The Monkey King can also see you in the tree line. Oh, first blood could be coming.
Yuragi dodging bushwhack. He's going to get hit by residual damage though from the shield crash. And we got the slow from Troll as well. Yuragi on the run. Looks like he's going to live. And Taiga with the tether. OG avoid getting first blooded. As Tundra really wanting to find some momentum on their side. Remember, they have lost 3 games in a row. And the first 2 against TSM, they were winning hardcore, I want to say. And they were heartbreakers. This game number 1, though, OG just felt like they were a step ahead the entire time.
I'm trying to remember, it seems so long ago yesterday how they played against TSM. They definitely were very confident and dominant in the first game and then kind of got knocked off their perch afterwards. So yeah, they need a little bit of a momentum shift here.
Yep, nice jumping in. That's a lot of damage to Soxa, but Io in turn taking some damage as well. Taiga will go down first. So first blood goes the way of Tundra. It will be a trade for Soxa.
First blood going on the Hoodwink here. Very curious what he's going to buy. A lot of the time Hoodwink will start in lane with a Blightstone, but I think when laning together with Doom it might not have enough impact. Looks like he's gonna wait for boots and ferry out as many branches as he possibly can for his lane partner, currently sitting on 5 in his inventory.
So Center, we've talked about the Pango versus Bloodseeker matchup a lot, and I mean that was the beauty of the draft from OG, because you could put these heroes in so many different positions. As Chaos Bolt's going to save some damage on the Taiga here. How do you play against a Bloodseeker as Pango? It feels like you have to get a Linkens at some point, but doing so just delays the rest of your items, which seem like they're 100% needed for you to have any effectiveness in the game.
I think a lot of the key to playing this matchup for Pango is to rely on his team a bit and not think of it as a 1v1 matchup, because that's kind of depressing. If you can find a way to, for example, if you look at their lineup, right, maybe you can Doom the Bloodseeker and that opens up your Pango to play the fight. That's how you initiate it. Or maybe you catch the Bloodseeker in some sort of a stun from the Hoodwink and, you know, just find other ways of controlling him so your Pango gets to play. If OG initiate the fight and they rupture Pango, Tundra are in trouble, right? They don't have the best coverage, they don't have the best saves, especially when you consider what OG can bring to the table in the way of burst with a CK, with a puck. So yeah, it's genuinely one of those matchups where you turn to your team a bit. Sure, like you said, you can buy Linkens, but it's coming out late and it's not really a full solution either, right? Like, what if the enemy team just breaks your Linkens with something then?
Right. And it also requires you just to play totally different than what's kind of intended for the hero itself. As Amar taking some damage, but the jump in from Seb, trying to focus a little bit on Skeeter, but Amar, the one taking the heavy damage, a couple more right clicks, he pops the Fairy Fire, so will live. And this is a double melee lineup into Troll Warlord, who is kind of a lane dominator, but still one of the position ones that we don't see as often these days, probably because of the fact that he gets kited higher than most melee heroes, I want to say. Especially with that ult, we have no control over the hero.
I will say though, I actually really do like the Troll pick in this game. I think it was a pretty clever way of trying to solve the problem. Misha, when I say Misha, it's part of Taiga's name. Misha isn't here. Taiga's
okay, yep, Taiga goes down to Soxa, so 2 kills for him early on. Of course, on that Doombringer last game, not off to the greatest start in that first game, but obviously 33 playing the position 3 Doom this time, so expect him to get a lot more farm than Soxa did. Okay, he's going to get Reality Rift back, but no kill to come, as OG trying to get control of this lane right now. And you can see that mid matchup, BZM with 15-2, and the Pango 21-1, so off to a pretty good start for that mid Pango.
Nine has tons of experience playing this lane, playing this matchup, so definitely not going to be in any doubt what he needs to do. Same for BZM. Like, this is one of those matchups that if you play a lot of pubs at the high bracket, these heroes are very popular, and you know, Puck, one of the common counter picks to Pango, so you've played both sides of that matchup plenty if you play both of them.
So what is it about the Troll that you like? game. Seb's going to be spotted out, but I'm guessing the whirling axes against CK is part of it.
Yeah, so first of all, when you look at the laning compositions that OG can place, when this is the overall last pick of the draft in the Troll, you have one range support in the IO, which enables a melee core in the lane. So if you put IO plus melee hero against Troll, what are you really enabling, right? That hero is going to get blinded. And if you don't, you're playing against double melee here with the Bloodseeker and Monkey King, which are very exploitable matchups for the Troll. Also in the game in general, like you said, Whirling Axes against CK is great. And you can, hopefully with this carry for Tundra, you can make space for Pango. I actually think it's kind of important that the carry here goes in and sets up so that there's pressure on a hero like Bloodseeker so that Pango can get stuff done. And also, you also have a Doom offlane. So, the carry doesn't have to do all the work here. There's plenty of heavy lifting that can be done from all three cores of Tundra this game.
Taiga hooking up with Yuragi here in the bot lane, but you can see Saksa has come as well. We're back to the old 2v2. I mean, how much kill potential do we have in this lane from OG's perspective? If the Centaur keeps stomping like that, that gives them more opportunities for sure.
Not so much anymore, I think. If you were looking to kill here early with your dual lane, it needed to be very early on where you put some pressure onto Doom. Actually, Yuragi is going to be taking quite a bit of a beating here.
Yeah, but he's stomp. Beautifully done from the Centaur. 33. He's going to get slowed again. Looks like he will be a walk away, though. A sliver of HP. He'll get salved up along with the Tango. So he'll be no worse for wear. Taiga bushwhacked again by Saksa. Continue on with the Scurry now. And
he might just
the
kill
wand. Taiga continuing to try to run. Chaos Bolt is there. Only 1 second stun, so Taiga hiding behind the tree line. Another bushwhack onto Yuragi. Don't think they have enough damage. The Infernal Blade and the hookup from Taiga as he's tangoed up as well.
They do put a lot of pressure and really exploiting the mana burn creep, just like last game. This time it is an offlane Doom instead of the support, but this creep is just incredible for Hoodwink to play with. This mana regen is insane value. Pretty sure there's a good chance this creep gets nerfed in the upcoming patch.
Very possible.
2.5 mana regen AoE.
You can see BZM ready to go for his first gank attempt, but thwarted for now, so no coil as of yet. I keep coming back to this Pango Cinder, and we're gonna have to hold that thought. As the 6-minute rune is about to pop, it will be an illusion rune. It should be handy to take off that Waning Rift if he really wants to hold on to it. But, I mean, the panel, again, they talked about it, but against Pango by itself is a pain, but against Puck as well. Like, how do you itemize against these two heroes? Or is it really just about leaning on your team?
You definitely want the Shard at a pretty early timing, I think. It's one of the best ways you can deal with the Puck getting coiled. Oh, nice try there from Saksa, but didn't quite get the connection. BZM quick to react mid. Didn't get knocked into the tree with Bushwhack. Yeah, so you need Shard. If you want to itemize against a Bloodseeker, eventually you get Linken's at some point.
Oh, top lane. Skeeter has to run up to the bottom area just to avoid that blood right, but 3 members of OG not able to find him.
He's fine.
Nice job by Skeeter, avoiding that gank.
Now with that showing top, Yuragi could be in some trouble bottom. Looking for the dive. 9 is here as well. Oh, did he get spotted there? I don't think so.
Ooh, just out of vision. Oh, but they run into each other? Yeah, there we go. The swashbuckle comes. 9, shield crash. No mana for his ult. Has to bottle up a bit. Would be a tough kill nonetheless.
Good awareness there from Yuragi. Considering they made their own move top, there was only the Troll and nobody TP'd. He can realistically expect a mirror move here from Tundra in the bot lane. But now Amar might not be ready for what could be coming top. Saksa is kind of...
Yep, and the tree line is Tundra. Yuragi's come with Amar, though. You can see the Nether Ward is down. The Snake King showing himself.
Really bringing the numbers here to
Saksa kind of stuck between a bunch of creeps. Bloodright to come, and he gets bursted down by OG. And we see another TP out, this time by Seb. This might be enough for Tundra to defend for now, though.
Yeah, they got the siege creep down. That was the main objective there, was to find a way of repositioning the wave so that the towers are care of business, and that's what Pugna managed to do. So, yeah, they pay a Hoodwink. A little bit of unfortunate positioning there from Saksa with Scurry on cooldown, but end of the day, I don't think Tundra mind this all too much. They might mind this.
Asphalt, Reality Rift back in. Snake King looks to possibly be dead. Another crit from Yuragi. Wants the high five. Not going to be reciprocated as the right clicks from BZM are enough, as he has the DD activated as well. And they're going to get a couple stacks here as well for OG.
Yeah, this was all intended for the Troll or the Pango. And, well, most of it will go to the puck. So, again, BZM finding a lot of CS just like in the first game. This time around, though, a little bit earlier on the first
Bushwhacked in the bot lane, whirling death to follow. Don't know if any TPs are going to come his way, but he's going to try to delay this as long as he can. Into the tree line he goes, and do some damage before he can pounce on a tree. Looks like they'll find, oh wait, Seb? Is he going to get away? No. Another Bushwhack to come. Does create some space for his team, but Tundra, a much needed kill on their side. As Troll Warlord, this is one of the best position ones for taking towers, if not the best, as this tower will get decimated.
It's gone.
Radiant's bottom tower.
OG did get the top tower at the same time, though, so they used the space that they get out of Seb taking so long to kill bottom to just ensure that. Game is still looking fairly even right now.
Yeah, Skeeter on the Troll Warlord looking for the Battle Fury as the first item, which I feel like is the only build right now on Troll that I've been seeing, at least. I think the Maelstrom one has kind of died down. Obviously, you need something for that CK in addition to the Whirling Axes, but it is a slow build up for him, of course.
I actually wouldn't necessarily have minded seeing the Maelstrom build in this game for that reason. But
Snaking needs to pick up that neutral item. He does. It might cost him his life. There's 73 in the area. See the coil off on 2. They're going to find the first kill on Snaking as 9's rolling thunder. Not the best usage as Seb gets off of Wukong's command. Looks like he'll be taken out in tow, but still with all the extra armor, will he actually live to this Skeeter? Looking for the kill, but BZM is there. Somehow Seb lives with that Wukong's command buff. Tundra, that hurt. That absolutely hurt.
Forget a replay of that. That's just unfortunate. 9, I think he failed the first jump with his shield crash, and the angle that he got afterwards prevented him from getting up the stairs as well. So that looked like a completely clean setup for Tundra, but a little bit of a misplay cost them a lot.
Yeah, Blood Right from Amar. They know that Rolling Thunder's not there, so he's not really afraid of the chase, although he might have to be. The Rupture comes out. Swashbuckle will partially connect as 9 is forced to TP up the Ultra counter to the Bloodseeker.
You're going to see the replay here. So look at this. Seb is in a lot of trouble. Yeah. Okay, this is the second half of it, but basically 9 couldn't find a way in after his initial jump missed. And Seb just runs the longest path he can come up with.
Oh my god. Yeah, that is
that voice line sounded pretty cool in slow-mo.
Indeed, Boundless Strike, 33 is in a bit of trouble here. OG looking for another kill going their way, and they'll find it. 6-3 advantage for OG early on. And this, again, this is against a core Doom this time around, so the lead is a little bit more substantial than it's showing at the moment.
As core Doom going Midas and OG are keeping the game even 11 minutes in on gold, so should be pretty happy. Yuragi gonna rotate over to take the creep wave instead of that small camp. Might have actually saved his life. After failing the connection there.
That's a little harsh. Failing this connection.
I mean, honestly, it is. I don't know if this is even. I guess it is theoretically possible to throw Bushwhack and then Acorn Shot afterwards with level 1 Acorn, but I don't know. I think you need level 2 or you need a cast range item in order to pull off that combo. Or it's like some frame perfect stuff from Soxa that he tried there.
Either way, Yuragi, it's going to be perfectly fine. Getting close to finishing the armlet for himself. And I'm interested in the build for Amar on the Bloodseeker. So it is going to... Why am I saying? Well, it's just a carry build, right? The Maelstrom into BKB.
Work the Midas.
That's true. Well, he had himself a decent start, right? So doesn't need to make that comeback.
That's true. He didn't die in lane.
He's middle of the pack, right?
Amar dies in lane, quick buy Midas right away, but he didn't die. So.
Like, if this was a normal off-lane Bloodseeker, would the build even be different, or does this seem fine to you?
I mean, there are options, right? You can play more of a utility route where you go for something like Atos first to just set up Blood Rights. So it's pretty common if you're playing utility, but considering how OG usually play and what their mentality is, this is no surprise at all to go for that Maelstrom build. And either way, you're going to end up with a Mjolnir or
Seb, Boundless Strike. You can see the relocate coming with BZM. Wukong's command to follow, but Seb's all alone inside. And the heal up from Snaking, keeping 33 quite healthy. Seb might have to sacrifice himself, but we've seen him get away many a time. He actually dodges the whirling axes and pounces away again. Seb continually living and forcing out all these rotations from Tundra, just wasting time.
Yeah, in the meantime, Yuragi's just free farming top, and it looks like OG might look to make their own move sometime soon. At least they're, maybe not. They're just going to zone control for now. Obviously with the relocate expended as well as coil on cooldown, I don't think they necessarily have to do anything, but yeah, just amazing space here from Seb. It's going to get harder and harder though. Now there's going to be a defusal on Pango to keep him in check. There's going to be a dagger on Doom. Actually, 33 changed his mind. He's going to go BKB. He had the dagger queued up, but
okay.
Goes for the Ograx. Taiga.
Yep, Taiga, bushwhack. You see the sharpshooter coming in. Boom. Soxa gets the kill. Again, a much needed kill for Tundra. They need to find the momentum. And with this Doombringer on their team, need to find some sort of a net worth lead. Like you said, they are going to go the BKB route for 33. Does that mean that they feel pretty comfortable with the state of the game or like the initiation factor that they have currently without that Blink Dagger?
I think maybe the mindset is if he goes Dagger, it's pretty high risk. The troll isn't going to participate very much right now for the time being. And like the panel talked about, Doom is kind of soft countered here from the Doom aspect. So if you blink Doom someone and they get relocated out, you've used your entire package, right?
Yeah.
If you have the BKB, you can play more of a sustained style where you run in, you pop Scorched Earth, you're able to stand your ground and fight against all of these stuns and silences. So I think in this game, probably a better decision, but the dagger will have to come out eventually because they will need that catch.
Tundra are smoked up. They're going to run into Yuragi, but 9 misses. Again, he gets failed above the before his ult goes off. Bushwhack, again, he gets stunned. Yuragi is living throughout all of this. This is from Troll, pops the ult as well. Trying to take out this pesky CK, and finally, Tundra get a kill on a core. See that move speed with that extra buff as it looks like 9 is finally taken out just before his TP was successful. 33 trying the same road. This time will be successful though as Tundra. It ends up being a 2-for-1. You lose your mid laner and a support for the position 1 on OG.
Given the circumstances, I don't actually think that was that big of a tragedy for them. They doomed an illusion and their Bloodseeker got ruptured before he could get ult off. So, or rather their Pango got ruptured. Oh, you're gonna see the replay here. So this one misses, right? They defuse and this barely hits. It hits the real one, but not the Illu.
Yeah.
Which is we're gonna have a BBC documentary on why that's the case. Some sort of
that would be the most
glitch in the Matrix. I don't know.
The most boring episode of all time. Good lord.
I'd watch.
No wonder you watch TV. That's the stuff you want to watch. But yeah, that fight could have been a lot worse for both teams, honestly. Kind of some misspells on both sides. Zach onto 2, Tree Dancing in as well. BZM, the Blood Right is here. Just a coil onto 2. Looks like the troll is going to not break it this time around, but instead they're going to find Snaking, and next is Peter. OG continuing the pressure into game 2 of this lower bracket final.
You gotta really be on the ball here. But OG are making a lot of really successful moves around the mid tower. They did the same in the last game, just bringing numbers.
Oh my goodness. They have been finding stacks continually in jungle, and now an ancient stack is OG getting everything that they want in this series.
And it's just all of the one good move. They get 3 kills mid tower and now ancients. They take everything they can possibly get in this time span. And it's just, they're getting insane value out of this Monkey King. Like Seb getting the vision, getting the double stun to set it up. And also the safety that they feel like Pango isn't there. I think that's the most important thing for them to be able to make this move. So if they know Pango is not in place and they can just start the fight like this, it's pretty easy for them to just on them and grab very nice, easy kills in the tower. And obviously, as soon as you deal the initial damage, Amar is just going to through as well. 3k lead. They're again playing this kind of a 3-core lineup. I guess it is a puck mid, but you know that hero can also scale pretty heftily compared to what it used to.
Indeed. Echo Saber now on Yuragi as well, so I would assume BKB is next after the fact. But considering the lead, can definitely delay it like he is. And the question is, the first Roche of the game, if Tundra can somehow take it, Troll is quite good at it. As we're going to see the coil only onto Soxa. Blood Right to follow, Balance Strikes up. Nice heals coming out from Snaking, but it's not going to be enough. Even a Wukong's command expended for OG. A little bit of overkill to find that position for Hoodwink.
Yeah, this could be an opening for Tundra in the next 20 seconds when Hoodwink, the 2 ultis are down. Might make a move with it, but again, you got to keep in mind that carry the troll is not going to be a bit like Skitter has to farm to build up his hero. It's a matter of, now that you lost this momentum and you lost your mid tower, the game was looking okay, you were in a pretty good spot. Now you might have to slow it down, and that's when it gets scary. I feel like if you need to slow down against OG, who are notorious for having insanely late game scaling heroes and not necessarily being the quickest team, but just having really good calculated moves.
Yep, relocate into the bot lane. BZM finds 33, who instantly pops the BKB. Looks like he's going to be able to get out, but that, again, is a defensive usage. The rest of Tundra have actually arrived in this area as well. They're not going to find anybody, at least not outright, just the illusions of the CK.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Clean those up. So that's another key spell on cooldown for G.
Going for an early BKB. He is quite farmed for that position 5, technically. I mean, is he playing the 5 or the 4, really?
Game he's...
Yeah. And into the Roche pit they go. Of course, all the spells online for Tundra. Wukong's command should be coming up soon. Another 30 seconds, actually. So there is a window for Tundra to try to contest this, especially with the Blink Dagger now on 33, which has yet to be shown. And here comes the smoke. This is a really important fight for Tundra. And the smoke is going to be popped by Seb on the tree line. And with that, they'll have all the information they need. Although they do exit the Roche pit. Roche is at half HP. We'll see what the plan here is from OG.
It's close. It's pretty optimistic. Or pessimistic, depending on how you look at it.
60%? Is that what you want me to say?
More like 64.
Okay. Interesting.
But it's healing, so.
It is. Double damage for Skeeter. This could be really big. But of course, he does not have his BKB yet. So he could just solo Roche. Here comes OG. Gonna attempt to contest potentially, but no, Roche will be lured out of his... This is extremely tense moment for Tundra.
He is a god tier hero in this position, right?
Indeed.
It's just so amazing what they get out of it.
And the Tundra smoke. And there is a ward up there from Tundra. It's going to be de-warded, though, by Taiga. Nicely done. Being hoodwinked.
Soxa smoke broke again.
Yep, so they know that's likely nearby. And Roche slowly healing up. And OG just baiting this out. Just going to sit in the pit to try to force the initiation from Tundra. Although Tundra seems to be heading towards the south now. Is this going to be enough space for OG to potentially just steal the Roche outright? But the tier 1 tower looks to be the focus of Tundra. And into the pit, Yuragi goes with the Phantasm. And we'll see if they have enough time to clean this up. Fortification will delay this push ever so slightly. But it looks like Tundra are just backing up, so conceding this Roche to OG.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I think they got about as much as they could while conceding this. If you don't feel like you can take the fight in that area against Monkey King and against the spells you're facing, at the very least, he goes and farms Ancient from Skitter. They get mid-tier 1. He starts to push out bot, farm his way to the BKB. I actually think this was a really good play call from Tundra to take that fight. I think that would have been a disaster in the area, given how good control OG have with their Monkey King and their item timings. You don't have the BKB on Troll just yet. So
yeah, in terms of taking Roche, I think Tundra with the Troll Warlord can do it faster, but OG have way better Roche fighting in the pit. The Coil, Monkey King, Bloodride from Bloodseeker. The tier 2 tower seems to be there. As you can see, Tundra look to be conceding this as well. Obviously, the Aegis advantage now online for OG. And it looks to be a freebie. Seb continuing to scout this out. They know he's in the area, dodges the hoodwink spell. I can't remember the name of. Bushwhack. Thank you, Cinderin.
You're welcome.
Just looked at your face and instantly remembered.
Yep.
Not sure what the connection there is exactly,
Same.
but who knows? Who knows? 2K lead for OG. I mean, can you put this in perspective for people, including myself, against the core Doom? What would this lead, you think, actually be if there was no Doom?
It's kind of a hard question to answer.
I know, that's
what
why
heroes
I
are
asked.
playing instead?
Any
hero.
Visage.
Okay, he's Alchemist. This is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not on the same level as Alchemist, no doubt. All right, Tundra going in onto Yuragi. Still has that Aegis. Getting quite low. Taiga not able to get the ult off. Actually gets canceled there, and he's going to get dropped immediately. So Yuragi lets it pop the BKB BKB along with his ult, and Bloodright is there. 33 gets off the Doom, but it gets canceled. 33 now on the run as Skeeter getting healed by Snake King. Balance strike onto 1, and they're going to clean up 33 very easily. Big Wukong's command from Seb looks like it'll lead to another Snake King death, but the right clicks from Skeeter. Finally, they're able to kill Seb. So a nice turnaround here potentially from Tundra. The Bloodright, Skeeter able to sidestep it, focusing on Yuragi. Remember, he does not have Aegis anymore. Whirling axes are there. Double kill for Skeeter. Amar trying to kite him along with BZM, but they will find Amar instead. BZM, the last remaining member in this area for OG. Looks like he'll be left alone. So Tundra somehow coming back in that fight as the pressure now on to 9. The Witchblade doing so much, but you have the roll up from 9 to get out of dodge.
It felt like it's been forever since Tundra has had a good fight like that. They get the initiation and kill the Aegis right away. Great rolling thunder from 9 to stop the relocate come out from Taiga. And then the follow-up fight, even though they doomed into a Linken's, they still end up coming out on top, I would say.
That is such a fast Linken's, by the way.
Yeah. BZM is huge. He has 10 CS per minute on this puck.
So now they know, and the question is, what will cancel the Linken Sphere? Do you need to try to get... He is buying Yules, it looks like, so that is a cancel for 33. As you can see, the replay here, they did... I mean, this is really good separating it from Taiga and getting that ult off there.
And there's that rupture on 9, so he will be taken out of the fight and has to TP away. The Doom there. Total whiff. I like how Amar played that fight too. Like, he's actually taking a lot of damage without dying. He's weaving in and out and forcing Skeeter to waste time on him. But ultimately, Skeeter can actually overpower. And I think this kind of fight can showcase what Troll can do in this game if given the right conditions. So.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, we got a big team fight. Apparently, Wukong's command is popped. Looks like they'll find the IO. Does Tundra. It's going to be a trade for the Pugna, though, as 9 inside his Rolling Thunder. Trying to kite a little bit here. The Chaos Ball. 4 seconds on the Skeeter. The Bloodright's coming as well. Rupture on top. He gets off the BKB. Finally gets off the ult. They're just going to make him chase. Taking some damage from that Rupture still, but the right clicks onto Yuragi with the Hoodwink ult. Double kill for Skeeter. Boundless strike from Seb, though. Tundra trying to fight back. Seb will be taken out. Buyback onto Io, though. They really, really want to kill this Troll Warlord, and they finally do. Amar staying alive throughout all of this, and the scouting out of 33 won't be able to cancel the TP, though. That fight out of nowhere. Goodness gracious. 2 cores dead for Tundra, and just CK on OG's side.
So it was a pretty good outcome overall for OG here.
Was a buyback on the IO, though, so...
They did have to buy back IO, which opens up an avenue for an awesome team fight for Tundra if they can find that as the first kill. And actually, considering they fought without Doom, maybe that wasn't that bad for them. Troll's death timer is just really, really long, but when he does come back, he's now going to have the level 20 talent, so another 30 damage to boot. And then with Doom as well as Pangold up, it could be time to look for another fight straight away. Guess Roche early spawn is in 3 minutes, so there's plenty of time to look around the map and not be anchored in that top area, which is something Dire really loves to not have to bother with, right? They can go bottom and look for something. If they find the kill, they don't have to panic and run across the map because Roche could be dying. So opportunity here, maybe they would find Seb.
And the Basher online for Amar, so these BKB TPs might not be so safe in the near future for Tundra, as
this
now...
is an interesting smoke from OG. They have only Bloodseeker and IO smoke to bottom and no other core backup. If they run into a fight against this Pango, this could potentially go really wrong, as Tundra's heroes are pretty close by and they can't relocate in their other heroes since the IO is already part of the move. But now they are
trying to bait it in. 33, he's going to get instantly ruptured. He gets off his BKB, but he is dying very swiftly, attempting to TP out. But the bash from Amar is enough. It looked like he was going to get out in time, but the bash very timely from Amar. And now the coil applied to Snake. He gets off the Decrepify. Healing up to a high degree by Seb, but the Bloodright's going to cancel it. Then the double kill for Amar as OG just continuing the onslaught. Sokka's dead next. It's a 5 versus 2. Skeeter completely surrounded. He pops the BKB, but the rest of OG just completely resetting, waiting for that BKB to run out. Gets off the ult in the meantime, though. Yuragi jumping. He gets a 4-second Chaos Bolt, and that's going to lead in likelihood to a kill onto Skeeter. 1 remaining member for Tundra. It is the Pangolier. He's silenced currently and brought down to his knees. Double kill. Amar and OG are absolutely crushing again in this game number 2.
The way that started is just perfect timing. Like, they're down there as 2 or 3 heroes. It's not looking like it's going to be good. And the moment Tundra's heroes do arrive, the Doom coming down there, that's when they're all in position. And Bloodseeker starts out with the Rupture on Doom, which, you know, in many circumstances would be like, hell yeah, let's go with Pango. But he's not there. He's not part of the fight in the beginning. Doom has to try to TP out and he gets bashed. And this is the aftermath of that fight with Doom on the sidelines without buyback. And Soxa also being all the way in the top lane. They're just completely outnumbered this entire fight. Which is weird to say, because it looked like Tundra actually had the numbers bottom just a moment before.
OG just read the situation perfectly on that high ground. And this was just, feels really shitty for Tundra when you have the Troll Warlord just stuck between 5 heroes, and there's literally no way to get out for him. But yeah, that was a full team wipe in favor of OG, and they are looking quite good right now. So from Tundra's perspective, what do you think needs to be done to try to claw back in this game?
I think it's mainly going to come down to, you know, this is easy for me to say, but they have to read the map better so that they have corresponding numbers. And that is difficult when you're playing against IO in this game state, because if IO is missing, along with one core, they could be literally anywhere and connect to the fight. So you also have to sort out your waves, find an intelligent way to push that out while still being in reach of one another when the fight does break out. I think this bottom tier 1 tower that they still have left, if OG ever make their way down in that area or to the mid tier 2, that's where you can really combine with all 5 heroes because you have an easy connection point. So make sure you don't lose any more towers without a fight. They ruptured 33 again.
Yeah, he is ruptured. He's working on a Lincoln Spear. He's going to get healed by Snaking. Looks like the TP will be successful, but a double boundless strike from Seb will lead to a kill onto Pugna to start it out. But Skeeter already popping the ult just to take out that pesky Monkey King. So Seb will fall. And the buyback from Snaking as well. Tundra need to get something out of this, but BZM looks like he's going to be just fine.
Heads up play there from both BCM and Soxa. So BZM realizes that if he jaunts to his orb there out of phase shift, he's going to get caught by a hoodwink combination, so he just doesn't jaunt it. Blinks into the enemy base instead and finds a way out.
And Tundra, you can see that they're going for a potential gank through the river here, smoked up, while this Monkey King is dead.
They do have the Doom, and 33 in that situation again was BKB TPing out, so the fact that they get that trade perhaps not too bad with the buyback on the Pugna to find Monkey King. And again, it opens up a fight where 9 can actually use his ult, right? That time he was there. So the Doom getting ruptured, that time they have Rolling Thunder. It zoned out the Pug for the remainder of the fight and allowed Skeeter to play very confidently on the Troll.
It feels like Seb's vision from the tree line has been kind of the difference maker here, as Tundra have tried to get aggressive from time to time in this game, but
this is
just been blotted out consistently as, E-Blade for BZM. As Roche looks like 1 minute away from respawning with that beautiful shard.
This item's so amazing here because if you think about how Tundra take their fights, it's all about setting up the Troll to kill someone, right? They have the Doom to prevent people from casting spells. They have the Pango Chain Stun, but Puck can effectively save any core right now along with Wisp, and they can reset the fights. And if it's not a matter of using it defensively, it's obviously also part of a kill burst. Now he can solo kill the Pugna in his silence, which he was missing a little bit from before. Same with the Hoodwink. If BZM finds either of them, they just die on the spot.
Nullifier is in the sights for Seb to counteract that Pugna Decrepify.
My God, how did this happen? Puck is level 24, Pango's 18.
Ooh, yeah.
That's actually a ridiculous difference in experience among the mids. I guess Skitter has a pretty big advantage over the CK as well, though.
BZM also has an Arcane Rune, so this would be a very tough fight for Tundra, unless they can just lock him down.
That Hoodwink Shard going out to Scout. OG are not going to be surprised by this at all.
And Roche is up. And we'll see if Yuragi will... Not sure if he's going to pop his ult quite yet, but focusing on taking him out to start here. And of course, this is the Roche with the Shard as Tundra. I think they were spotted there by Seb. And Seb back into the pit and back onto the tree line.
Soxa tried to fish for a...
That's the decoy, I think. Oh, Balance Strike misses this time from Seb. They're looking for 33. There's the Rupture. They get it off. They use a little bit too late. Gonna get silent balance with the blood right as well. Focusing on 33, gets off the BKB. The right clicks will suffice as Tundra on the back foot now. And they're just bashing through. Amar's beating the crap out of 9. He's in the Rolling Thunder though. He blinks and gets the kill while BKB, Jiragi getting quite low. But the blood right now onto this Troll Warlord. And that's another bursted hero in favor of OG. 5 dead. It's a full team wipe. And nobody is lost for OG, which means second Roche is theirs.
The name of the game for OG in this game has just been, how can we make Doom as sad as possible? Like, yeah, again, you'd think they would reserve the rupture for the Pango, but they're actually just removing Doom from the fight. They rupture him, they run at him, he BKB tries to TP out, doesn't make it there. And also a little bit of indecisiveness, right? Like, he was kind of standing around, okay, should I TP out? Are we going to take this fight? He was uncertain. And then when he finally goes for it, OG didn't even need the bash. He had already taken so much damage from running around. And you can understand from Tundra's perspective why he doesn't want to TP away there. It's like, okay, am I just going to BKB TP out every time? This time I have 4 teams around me, but the positioning from Tundra just wasn't really good enough to cover him fully.
Fortifications pop by Tundra. They do have a bunch of buybacks, but they'll likely just give up 1 set of racks before giving it their all in this defense. So the top racks is OG's for the taking. And now they go into the mid lane. No reason to stop with this Troll Warlord still technically dead. 20 seconds. Yuragi looking for Saksa, instantly doomed though by 33. Can they get this kill? That is just the Aegis though, the buyback now on this Peter. He gets ruptured instantly inside the Wukong's command, finally gets off the ult. They're just gonna make him chase him outside the Wukong's command, and this is gonna be a dieback if they end up getting this kill. He's gonna get the BKB up, but dies shortly after. Dieback for Peter, and this is looking like the beginning of the end for Tundra. As the Boundless strike does connect onto Saksa, but he cuts the tree. 33 ruptured for the millionth time this game. Doesn't matter. He is dead. Double kill for Amar. Only 2 members of Tundra remain. And OG looking primed and ready as the GGs are called. OG going to the grand finals for in their organization's history. Unreal performance.
They've had some grand finals that looked really grim at certain points, and they overcame it every time. So we'll see today when they face up against TSM later if it's going to be 5 in a row or if their streak in finals will be broken. But yeah, I mean, based on how they played in this series so far, they made Tundra look definitely a tier below. Just better move crafting overall. I feel like Tundra, for the most part in their games, got what they wanted. They just got handled. A lot of the key heroes that they've been winning with a lot just seemingly relatively unimpactful in this game. The Doom and Pangolier, 2 of Tundra's best, was just getting shut down for the majority of the game. 9 ending the game without a kill. 0, 5, and 8 on Pango.
It was a Pango. We talked about the counters. Bloodseeker and Puck are super hard to play into, but
OG just have a really good approach to this patch right now, it seems, and it's a matter of, can TSM find a way against the team that's seemingly just unable to lose right now. I don't know how many games they've won in a row at this point, OG in the low bracket, but
it has been impressive, to say the least. This run from OG, obviously with Misha not able to be here, Seb, I mean, who better to take part as a substitute for your team, a 2-time TI winner.